People say. Plus, the Knicks finally show up.
Knicks have done it with a 106-100 win.
And the MVP did too.
Pulls up and fires an angle right three-pointer that's right between the eyes to Cengiz. Second money ball, 17 now for Shea.
It's going to be a short week, so let's get started in the Fletch Zone.
Yeah, let's get it going on a Tuesday. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for being here. My name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. We are with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. Kevin Acee is going to join the show coming up at 1:30. We'll have a couple giveaways sprinkled throughout the show, and a very happy 3-day weekend to everybody who had a good time over the weekend. I was up all over California. Sammy, how we doing? We're feeling good after 3 days of rest?
We're doing good. Yeah, got a little extra rest. How was Sacramento?
Sacramento was good. Merced was good. Only about 22 hours, I think, total in the car this weekend. Don't drive places on Memorial Day weekend. It's a mistake.
You said it was easier on the way back, though. It's way
easier. Yesterday, we flew through. We went the Lake Elsinore way, so we avoided L.A., but we flew through yesterday. On Friday, we left, like, literally as soon as we got off the air on Friday. So I'm in the car at 2:10, heading north. It took more than 5 hours to get to the Grapevine, which should be about 2.5 to 3 hours. And then it took another 2.5 hours to get all the way up to Fresno, which is as far as we made it on Friday night. But that was about 8.5 hours in the car, and we were tapped out. So don't drive on Memorial Day weekend. Seems pretty easy to me. Won't make that mistake again. Padres, all of a sudden, winning baseball again, which is good. They've won 3 of their last 4. And Manny Machado, I don't know how many more times I have to do this before I understand who Manny Machado is as a player. But it's like you get into a Manny slump, and then you start talking about the Manny slump, but he'll come out of it. It's Manny Machado. And then you get to where we were last Friday, which is I said, maybe there's something seriously wrong with Manny Machado. He only has 3 home runs on the season. What the hell's going on here? Manny Machado has hit 3 home runs since I uttered those words, that maybe there's something really wrong with Manny Machado, who was on fire over the weekend, just cranking the ball out of the ballpark. Padres hopefully are getting back to their winning ways. I still don't feel particularly good about how they've been playing, but they are winning baseball games, which is better than not.
Yeah, it was. We're going to get to it here in a minute, but it was. I'm giving them credit because they're 3-1 since we last spoke.
Yes.
So they had a winning record over the weekend. They gained a game on the division because the Dodgers had a rough weekend in New York. But certainly Friday and yesterday were close wins. Could have gone the other way. Again, giving them credit because they did win it, but some poor base running from the Braves on Friday night. And then the wild pitch coming home.
A couple of 2-out errors that kind of got gifted to the Padres throughout the weekend.
So you take them. They're going to happen throughout the year, and it's good that the Padres are taking advantage of when they have. But certainly big week for the Padres considering the schedule ahead. This is a week the Padres should go undefeated or only have 1 loss.
Yeah, we got some smooth water here, but you're looking out into the distance and you see some chop. And as we all learn in The Wolf of Wall Street, you don't mess with chop.
You don't mess with chop.
Don't mess with chop.
Unless those stocks are ringing, baby.
Unless you have to get to Switzerland, because that's where all your money is hidden.
Because otherwise the federal government's going to seize it.
You know, Jordan Belfort taught me a lot, all right? And
listen, some people say he's a criminal. I think he's an inspiration. He's a motivational person.
He's a motivational speaker now. That's what he does with his life now since he's been out of jail. All right, we got a busy week, so let's get right into it. Sammy, we do the Big 3 every single day around 12:05, where Sammy runs us through the top 3 stories in the world of sports. There's lots of good ones going right now, and we will get to them all. Sammy, hit the button.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
You know, it was a long weekend. Sometimes computers need to be reset over a long weekend. And apparently we're chipmunks again, Sammy.
Shout out to Schaefer for texting us. Yeah,
Charles on the stream is also letting us know.
Charles, thank you. Yeah, I feel like this is a prank that someone has to be doing before we get in.
Isn't it just a button on that computer now?
It's a sample rate. I'm going to figure it out, but since it'll be resolved by next segment, okay? But in the meantime, we're going to be chipmunks. All right, so let's start with the Padres. What grade would you give the Padres over the weekend and as well as yesterday?
All right, this is really weird because they won 3 out of 4 games over the weekend, but I cannot go higher than like a B-. Because I don't feel comfortable with the way they're winning games. Now, if you're winning on the margins, which is what Mike Schultz always says, you got to be okay with it. And if you're just looking at end results, this is probably more like an A-. But the way they're winning is not sustainable. It's like they're just hoping and praying Manny Machado or Gavin Sheets is going to hit a home run. And guess what? They have been. So that's good. That's good for the Padres, but Fernando Tatis Jr. is in a slump of all slumps after starting the season like an NL MVP candidate. The pitching hasn't been great, but it's been good enough, and you're playing against some subpar lineups. And so that's helping you out a little bit. Winning 3 out of 4, you take that every time. And for that alone, this isn't in the C range, but I have a hard time going over a B-.
I'm with you on that. I'm going B. Again, it's tough because they went 3-1. So if you would have said that before the weekend, I would have taken it. And to do it against the Braves as well, tough road opponent, especially how you started that series. Friday was, coming off a 6-game losing streak. Then Acuna hits a home run on the first pitch. Got to give Nick Pivetta a lot of love for how he really kind of figured that out immediately after and just kind of stayed calm and has been playing like the Acee was. Again, going back to Friday, some poor base running certainly benefited them in the ninth against Suarez. Last night was interesting because a Miami team that you should have beat, you did beat. You give Machado all the credit because he was the one that tied it up late in the game with the solo shot. And then you're thinking when the Marlins don't score in the top of the 10th, you're like, oh, Tatis, Merrill, Machado, they can knock in a run from second base. No. And so it was about to come on and be like, what the hell is going on? Why are the top 3 stars for the Padres not performing in big moments? Again, going to give Machado a bit of a pass because the only reason they were there was because of his home run.
And then Tyler Wade steals home.
Everything's
good.
So everything's good. You wanted a wild pitch and you took advantage of it. But this is a really crucial week. Miami, Pittsburgh, the Dodgers have the Guardians and the Yankees. Tough schedules around the NL West. We've highlighted, we're going to get into it more later, about the kind of schedule that the Padres are going to have to deal with in June. You'd like to see them tie for the lead in the division by the end of the week. I think that's very manageable with the Padres schedule versus other people's schedule. But, we'll see. We'll see. Wishful thinking, maybe.
If Manny Machado stays hot, they can turn this around pretty easily. But you need Fernando Tatis Jr. to get going. And it just lends more credence to what we've said a bunch of times on this show, to what Coach says on this show. When you're looking at the barometer of the San Diego Padres, just look at Manny Machado's last 4 or 5 games. And he's playing pretty well right now, and the Padres are winning.
All right, so this is a little bit of a curveball question. SDFC, Chucky Lozano scores a last-second goal in the 95th minute to win it. What is more likely? The Padres make the World Series.
Oh, God.
The Aztecs basketball team goes to the Sweet 16 next year.
Okay.
Or SDFC makes the playoffs and wins a game.
Oh, well,
this
come on.
Season.
You're talking about very different things. Getting to the World...
Throwing you a curveball live on air.
Okay, obviously SDFC getting to the playoffs and winning a game.
But it's a super long season.
Right, but that is the easiest of the 3 things you just mentioned.
Fine, win 2 games.
Now we're getting, that's better. That's
2 games.
That's getting a little
2
closer.
games. 2 games.
No, it's not Padres making the World Series, unfortunately. Like, you're playing in the toughest division in baseball. You're so up and down. You're so top heavy with the team. I would love to see it. Believe me. I feel like I've been planning a parade that goes from Mudcat's house all the way out in Alpine, all the way down through the gas lamp, all the way up to Del Mar. It's going to be brutal getting it done this year for the San Diego Padres. Aztecs, I do really like their team coming back next year. We'll see what happens with Miles Bird in the draft. All the news about Miles Bird has been NBA teams are really starting to like him. And I guess he really showed out at the combine. He's moving his way up the mock drafts. It's going to be tougher if he's not there. But, man, those 3 freshmen from last year, getting them all back in Magoon, Guath, Farrell, Compton, and Taj DeGorville. They get another year in this offseason with Dave Velasquez. I feel pretty good about the Aztecs. I could see a Sweet 16 there. SDFC, they've proven already this year they can beat anybody in Major League Soccer. They had an awesome win yesterday, and 2 days ago. The biggest worry about SDFC was that Anders Dreyer and Chucky Lozano would come over on almost retirement deals. Those dudes have been awesome since they joined the team. So, yeah, I think SDFC is still the most likely. A Sweet 16 is hard, Sammy.
I know. That's why I'm
serious. Is brutal.
I thought of it today. I was like, let's try it out. But yes, in terms of SDFC, super exciting Saturday. I mean,
oh yeah, you were there.
I was at the game.
Field level.
Fantastic.
Look
field
at you.
level. I heart high rolling. But people forget in that game they went down 1-0 early on, and then they responded immediately. The end of the game, you're kind of looking like it's going to be a draw.
What they call it? The death minute is when Chucky Lozano scored the final goal?
The death minute. Got him. And then they should have put one before LA scored in the beginning. They should have put one in the 12th minute mark, but they missed it. SDFC, man, I think we're kind of seeing in all sports and hockey, multiple things about how expansion teams that were thought to be garbage for years, and people thought that, hey, it's great they got it, but they're going to be trash for the next 5 seasons, we've kind of seen a change. The Golden Knights were excellent the first year in hockey. Now we're seeing SDFC. They're in the top 10 the MLS power rankings, so that's awesome. Padres certainly would probably be the longest shot of all that. They're the best team of all them, but just considering the World Series odds, the division to what you pointed out of the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, the Giants, the Cubs are playing excellent baseball. The Braves are getting it together. So I'm
not saying it can't happen.
No, it certainly
can happen. I want that to be very clear here, but it's going to be the hardest road.
But that's the toughest road. The Aztecs team I am high on with next year. I think that last year they probably overachieved a little bit because of how young they were.
How about bringing back Reese Waters? I didn't even mention him.
Reese Waters. Again, this is kind of contingent on Bird coming back. If Bird doesn't come back, there's certainly some bigger questions there, but I think that will be pretty good. Now, let's head to the NFL. So Kirk Cousins, Atlanta Falcons quarterback, absent from OTAs today, first day. Should the Steelers want him over Aaron Rodgers? After Aaron Rodgers, real quick, said that he would not play for New Orleans when asked at a media scrum last week.
Yeah, he was at like a weird event, and some girl who looked so nervous asking him a question. He essentially hinted that he's going to be signing with the Steelers. Now, to your question about the Steelers, should they want Kirk Cousins over Aaron Rodgers? Take everything out. Off the field stuff with both of them, just quarterback play alone, I would say probably you want Kirk Cousins over Aaron Rodgers heading into next year. However, if you go the Kirk Cousins route, you have to give up something. Draft picks, players, money. Aaron Rodgers is just sitting there. You can get him for free. Essentially, you're going to have to pay him, but you're not going to have to give any capital up to go get him in terms of the draft. Kirk Cousins, unfortunately, it's going to take, I don't know what the Falcons would want at this point. At least a second rounder.
No. With that contract? Because they got to pay the rest of that contract. It was a 4-year, $180 million. I think he would get him for like a 6th-round pick. The problem is that the Steelers want to
Trey Lance went for more than a 6th-round pick.
I know, but he's way older. Trey Lance was, 26, 25 when he was traded? Mm-hmm. I mean, so if you were going to take a flyer on someone, Trey Lance makes more sense. On the field, if you had one season, go win me one game, I want Kirk Cousins. To your point about they have to go get something, Aaron Rodgers is kind of free there. Aaron Rodgers sounds like he wants to retire. He mentioned something about he would go back to Green Bay, which for $10 million, which makes no sense to back up Jordan Love. At least with Kirk Cousins, you know that you're getting a guy who's invested in playing, wants to win. Aaron Rodgers, is it crazy to think that halfway through the year he'd be like, screw this? I mean, I'm done. I want to go do a darkness retreat. And Kirk Cousins early last year, it's kind of wild how we saw the downfall of him. Remember that Thursday night game? Yeah. I believe it was against the Saints where he had like almost 600 yards passing and 5 touchdowns, and then he was awful for the next month, that game against the Chargers. I think Kirk Cousins could have one more left in the tank in him, but we'll see where they go.
All right, coming up on the show today, we do have Brad Paisley tickets to give away. He's going to be out at Gallagher Square on June 7th at Petco Park. Tickets and info, you can go to Ticketmaster.com. And also, we got some San Diego County Fair tickets to go see, just the fair. The 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. SDfair.com for tickets and info. I go to the fair every year. Sam, you go to the fair every year?
It's kind of embarrassing. I've never been to the fair.
You've never been to that?
Lived here 12 years. I've never been to the fair.
At the Del Mar Fairgrounds?
I've been to the racetrack about 40 times.
You got to go to the fair this year. They got the concert series with Toyota.
I do. I've always I've always wanted to go. I just never have. I need a funnel cake.
You've lived here for like the majority of your life, right?
Yeah, like over half my life. It's odd.
The San Diego County Fair is
kind of embarrassing.
Kind of peak San Diego. You don't want to eat deep fried butter?
No, I do.
What the hell's wrong with you?
First, deep fried butter is aggressive. Funnel cakes. You have to get a funnel cake at a fair.
70470. Start your message with team. Best fair food. We'll be discussing that for the rest of the show probably. But yeah, if you want to win a 4-pack of tickets, just hang on for just a little bit. Kevin Acee coming up 1:30. Coming up in 5 minutes, we're going to be de-chipmunkified if you're watching on the stream. And we're going to talk some more Padres about this schedule coming up, about what they need to do over the next week. That is next. You're listening to San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. And AM radio, we keep vital voices accessible. Congress can secure its future, but we need your help. Text AM to 52886 right now to support keeping AM radio in cars. Tell your member of Congress to pass legislation now and keep AM radio in cars. Standard message and data rates do apply. Kevin Acee going to be jumping on the show at 1:30 today. We'll talk some Padres with him. We're going to talk some Padres right now too, but if you keep hanging on for the next 10 minutes, you got a shot at a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair, which is going to be a summer pet-tacular. You like that? From June 11th through July 6th for a limited time only. I like that. The Del Mar Fairground transforms into a pet lover's paradise. Our community's fair, the biggest bash of the summer in San Diego, and the best deal in town. You can get tickets at sdfair.com. We got a 4-pack for you coming up in just a few minutes, and we're
seriously, with both of these teams, these should be sweeps, or at least certainly only one loss on the weekend. Next month, you go into the schedule: Giants, Brewers, Dodgers twice, Diamondbacks, Phillies twice, Mets. These teams are no joke, and expecting to win an NL West that is so stacked, and to win a division that has 4 teams that have a legit shot to win it. Maybe the Diamondbacks a little bit less; they've fallen back a few games, but still have a chance to win it. You need sweeps, and it sounds obvious, but you need to sweep some teams. You can't just play kind of 500 baseball a year, and in June, that you're not going to be sweeping all these teams, even though we'd like them to. But if we're being realistic about them, when you play the Dodgers 7 times over the span of a week and a half, I think the goal should be win as many games as possible, but certainly go 4-3, win the series, win the total of the games, versus expecting where you put yourself in bad spots. When you lose to the Pirates, you lose to the Marlins, and then all of a sudden you need to sweep the Diamondbacks. You need to sweep some of these teams. I think this week is a big opportunity for the Padres to tie the division, kind of go into June with everything neck and neck, and hopefully you can win some tiebreakers next month.
Not to get everyone concerned or worried, but this is just something I've been thinking about a little bit right now. The Padres are currently 8 games over 500. 4 against the Giants, 3 against the Brewers, 3 against the Dodgers. What does that have us up to? 4, 7, 10. 3 against the Diamondbacks, 13. 4 against the Dodgers, 18 games. They're in a row. None of them are easy. The Brewers aren't a rollover team. The Giants certainly aren't. The Dodgers certainly aren't. The Diamondbacks certainly aren't. So you're talking about this 8-game cushion you have right now, and you think about in the division that they play, and it's going to take a whole hell of a lot more than just being a 500 team by the end of it. That 8-game cushion can disappear quickly when you're talking about 14 games against high-level Major League Baseball talent in the month of June by itself. Padres, get on the right track, man.
And the only NL West team that I think we could see take a nosedive is
Rockies.
maybe
They're already there.
Well, no,
They've
they're not
already
taking a
nosedived.
nosedive because they've already hit rock bottom. So there's nowhere to go but down. The Giants are the only team of the top 4 that I could see. We're talking about a month or two from now that maybe is kind of hanging in 4th place, even though they're up there at the top right now, hanging around the top. I feel like they might have overperformed a little bit. The Diamondbacks are only going to get better because this team is kind of still working together. Real new pitching staff with Burns and Brandon Pfaadt's a really nice young picture for them that's kind of coming along. And the Dodgers are only going to get healthier. The Dodgers are decimated. I mean, they have an entire starting rotation worth of injured players as well as the bullpen. So they're only going to get healthier. So this is a real time. And the Padres will hopefully get Yu Darvish back at some point. But this is kind of the Padres team that is going to be there until further notice, unless AJ Preller makes some big deal at the deadline. So again, really crucial end to the month here. And then you're going into next month, hopefully that you already have a 2-game lead over the Giants. So hopefully you can win a tiebreaker there. Tiebreaker is going to be a really big thing with how tight this division is down the stretch.
I would hope that there is a move made before the trade deadline with the Padres. They need something
Certainly
to happen in left field. I saw a stat the other day that's like, of the last 10 games, the only left fielder that the Padres have put out there who's actually gotten a hit while playing left field is Gavin Sheets. I don't know if we've watched Gavin Sheets play left field. He kind of sucks at it.
And they've only had 3 home runs on the year. I think hitting 189 in total. It sucks. I mean, you go back to it. If you would have paid Profar, I mean, you might not
be suspended for 80 games.
That's
that doesn't really help you out that much.
It's a good point. But let's just take away the suspension.
You would have the same number of hits that you have in left field.
You show how much he really did mean to this team. Like, unfortunately, and it sucks for Profar that he's not even playing because he's suspended. You're right. He would have been suspended anyway. But it sucks that what happened to Profar because he's the exact player you need. And if he was playing, you'd probably try to get him back at the deadline.
All right, here it is. This is from Kevin Acee. Gavin Sheets has played left field twice in the last 7 games for the Padres, and he is the Padres' only left fielder with a hit in the past 7 games.
I mean, that just can't happen on a team that has World Series aspirations.
The Jason Hayward experiment, I think it's over. I think it needs to be done with. But Gavin Sheets is not the answer for left field either. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into the NBA playoffs. I learned a new word. I think it's kind of fun. It's zesty. We're going to talk about it coming up next. And who is the zestiest NBA player in this postseason? It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code Fletch when you do. You're going to get a $50 bonus. Download the Prize Picks app today. When you do, use promo code Fletch, FLETCH. You're going to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 entry. And today is a Taco Tuesday. Karl Anthony Towns discounted to 16 points just for the next few minutes. So take advantage of it while you can. But Taco Tuesdays are great. Flex Fridays are even better. The promotions are what keep you coming back to the Prize Picks app. Download it today. Use promo code Fletch. Get that free $50 bonus when you play your first $5 entry. And you can win big on Prize Picks, up to 2,000 times your cash if you have a winning lineup. I know my brother has a lineup going today with a bunch of home run hitters in baseball. And if he wins that, it's a $5 entry that he could win $10,000 on. Download Prize Picks app today. Use promo code Fletch and start running your game on Prize Picks. I love the app because it's all about you, the user. Quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. They offer Venmo, MasterCard, Apple Pay, pretty much anything you need to make it as easy as possible for you to win big on Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use promo code Fletch, FLETCH. Get that $50 bonus when you play your first $5 entry. And we're going to give you a $5 entry coming up at 12:45 today on Long Shots. Download Prize Picks today. Use promo code Fletch and run your game all season long on Prize Picks.